Hi, I'm Bruce Meyer, and I had the great privilege of being the first chairman of the Petersen Automotive Museum, and currently vice chairman, but could not be more proud of our new museum. This exhibit is courtesy of Rolex, who is one of our most important museum sponsors, and happened to be a great watchmaker. Many of the cars here are flagship cars in the greatest collections in the world. And for them to entrust us and have confidence in the new Petersen Museum was a great feather in our cap and means the world to us, because we have all the great collector cars within the museum and in this gallery. A particular exhibit that I'm most proud is precious metal. And as we all know, precious metals were the color of choice for show cars, jewelry, and objects of elegance. And that's why we have named this particular exhibit Precious Metal. And it was an idea that came to mind about 5 years ago, and I actually presented it to LACMA across the street, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. And I thought this would be a great way for them to introduce fabulous silver art pieces along with beautiful paintings and sculptures that they have, because these are art. And we have them on pedestals, just like a great piece of art would have. But they didn't quite get it, so we parked the exhibit until our opening, which is now. And I think people are responding quite well to the precious metal exhibit. And I'd love to give you a quick tour. A silver car that resonates with everybody is James Bond 007's Aston Martin DB5. And this is 1964. And this is the car, and it's lent to us by Harry Yagi from Cincinnati, Ohio, from his collection. And this is the car that has the ejection seat, spills oil, rotating license plates, all the whistles and bells that people remember so well in the James Bond series. This is the car. And you couldn't have a silver exhibit without this car. And we're so pleased that Harry lent it to us. One of my personal favorites, and being a proud American, is the 1933 Duesenberg. The 20 grand Duesenberg is lent to us courtesy of the Nethercutt collection. This is their flagship car. This is an all-American effort that was heralded by E.L. Cord, who owned Duesenberg, to build the finest American car in the world. And this epitomizes that. This was shown at the 1933 Century of Progress Exposition. And this is a supercharged 320 horsepower straight 8 engine, guaranteed to do 90 miles an hour in second gear with a top speed of 129 miles an hour. So this is as elegant as it gets in a Duesenberg, and of course, silver's the most appropriate color. The 1937 Hork, sometimes pronounced Horsch, won Best of Show at Pebble Beach not too many years ago, but what stands out in this car are the details, the incredible restoration. This is owned by Bob Lee from Reno, Nevada. And the closer you get to this car, the more you love it. And as we know now, Hork, DKW, Wanderer, and Audi all came together to put Auto Union name on their cars. So this is one of the famous Auto Union conglomerates. One of the most intriguing things about this car are the levels of detail. And the owner, Bob Lee from Reno, Nevada, and Ann Brockington Lee, built a chrome tank that was 10 feet long just to chrome plate the running light deco trim, 10 feet. You see, that is one piece. Incredible. That is one piece of chrome. The 1938 Hispano-Suiza Xenia Coupe has to be one of the more extraordinary cars in our entire museum. It was designed for the Duesenberg family, for Mr. Duesenberg's wife, Xenia. But by the time the car was completed, Xenia was out of the picture. They were divorced. His then current wife wanted the car out of their lives, and he hid it at a friend's garage. Hence, it exists today. But it's streamlined, very aerodynamic, and a real showstopper at the museum and any car show around the world. So 1953, mid-century, streamlined, this is it. This is a Ghia-bodied Fiat Autovu, 8-cylinder V8, and supersonic defines it, and that's what it's called. Design cues taken directly from jet aircraft. The back end looks like a rocket ship, and this is owned by David Sidoric, who's one of our museum directors and also vice chairman. If you had to pick one of the most valuable cars in the world, this would make the short list. Estimated at 100 million, real money. But the most important thing is this car is the real deal. And this is owned by the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum, and they have lent this to us. This is a 1954 Mercedes W196. Top speed, 186 miles an hour. Big straight 8 fuel injection. This is magnesium, super lightweight. So you drive this from the center like a Grand Prix car. Single seat, magnesium body, as gorgeous as it comes. This has to be one of the great cars of the entire earth. The W196 won 9 of 12 races with Juan Manuel Fangio and Sterling Moss at the wheel. Very important race car, stunning. This is one of my all-time favorites. This is a 1959 Corvette XP87 Stingray race car, and it was inspired and really built for Bill Mitchell. It was a race car, it was the inspiration for the Stingray, and truly one of the most beautiful, well-balanced designs ever. And this car is part of the GM Heritage Center exposition. And Ed Wilburn, the head of General Motors Design now, he thinks of this as his car. And it took a lot of talking to get it here, but he came and visited the museum, and he's so proud to see it amongst this amazing group of silver cars. This is a 1957 Ferrari Testarossa, and by many enthusiasts, they feel this is perhaps one of the most beautiful designed Ferrari race cars ever. And it was raced by John von Neumann, Richie Ginther, and Ken Miles. And by Ferrari's records, the most winning Ferrari ever, from the very famous Bruce Meyer. So the world renowned. This particular car is a car that I've cared for the last 15 years. We showed it at Pebble Beach 2 years ago. I drove it home from Pebble Beach. We've rallied the car. It does everything that you would expect a Ferrari race car to do. It makes great sound, straight pipes, V12. And I guess this is the car that really inspired the concept, because I was trying to think of a way to include my car in some exhibit. This is a 1954 Ferrari 375 mm. This was the powerhouse of Ferrari in the 50s. They won Carrera Panamericana. The top speed on this car is 170 miles an hour. This particular car was owned by Roberto Rossellini and was a gift to his wife, Ingrid Bergman. This car won Pebble Beach, best of show. The only Ferrari ever to do this, and this comes to us from the John Shirley collection in Seattle, Washington. John is a member of our Checkered Flag group, big supporter of the museum, and we're so honored to have this car as the lead car in our precious metal exhibit. They call this the current day Ferrari GTO. This is a racer for the street, and in fact is one of the very few cars that won overall at Le Mans. And this is a 1995 McLaren F1, and the driver sits in the center. A wicked, wicked car, lots of power, top speed of 243 miles per hour, And this is part of the Charles Nearburg collection, one of the fastest production cars ever. Don't do that to me.
I was going to say, that's a great question.
If I were to select a car in here that is the most important and kind of towards my taste, it would be the Mercedes W196. I mean, because it just is a rock star, good-looking car. Won the races, super rare. Give that to me, I'll sell it, and I'll live happily ever after.
That's cheating. How about you? If you had to pick one in the room, what would you go for?
Oh, the Mercedes.
The 196.
Oh, yeah.
Personal value factors aside, you'd still pick that.
Oh, just the Moss and Fangio heritage, 9 of 12 races.
Now, if you had to pick a car, that would, because that's that car needs a crew. You have to preheat the oil, then you've got to have like starting spark plugs. You need a whole pit crew to run that car. The Corvette, you need a key, and you can drive it off.
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe the most extraordinarily beautiful car on the planet Earth. Of course, I'm a little partial to the Ferrari Testarossa, but this is a car, to me, that checks every box.
Yeah, in terms of the cars I think are the most beautiful cars, I think Testarossa is easily the most beautiful race car ever designed. I mean, nothing touches it.